All right, so hello everyone and welcome to yet another AMA. This one is with Fight4Hope. So I personally am very much excited for this one because again the graphics look absolutely amazing and I'm a huge fan of Battle Royale. So it is a perfect fit for myself personally. So thank you so much for joining Jay and Lars. It's a pleasure having you to here. For starters, you can give some brief introduction about the team and then we can jump into your presentation and everything that Fight4Hope is all about. So welcome and the floor is of course all yours.
Thanks a lot for having us here today. So let me start with myself. My name is Lars F. I'm an IT developer. I come from the data security world, and I have been a developer for just around 16 years myself. And I have had IT company for the past 13 years approximately. So this project is represented as a part from my development company, Rabona Labs. We have went into game development. To speak a little bit about Rabona Labs, we are 3D a Web3 development company, but this year we adopted a game studio to work with us, also to connect to Web3, and this is our branding product that we are coming out with from our own studio. So my studio is 13 developers, and then we have designers and managers on the part of that. And for anybody who likes gaming and development, I have a gaming YouTube channel where we share weekly videos how to make developments. So that's a little to back up from the gaming world and from our experience with gaming. So this is the first game that we're going to come live with, and Fight4Hope is a space. So is it okay that I move forward to the project, or do you have any?
Yeah, of course. It's no problem at all. It's, a brief introduction about the team. It's always perfect. No need to put, a huge emphasis on that. So yeah, curious to know more about the project itself. So do feel free to do so.
Perfect. My head just goes on its own road when I speak. So
it's no problem.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Fight4Hope is a space game. We are out in free space. We are long out in the atmosphere. It's not Earth we see. It's not, we are out, way out there. We have a whole game story with the spaceship coming out in space. The spaceship is Hope. It gets destroyed and everybody are fighting for it. And it's a battle royale game. And we have enabled up to 20 players. I can enable it up to 160 players, so we will have to find a balance when we launch this and see the adoption and everything, how we are gonna manage this up. From now, the game is 2 to 20 players.
Okay, if I can just quickly interrupt you, I'm sorry, I did say I'm gonna leave the questions for right after your presentation, but it's kind of relating to this matter. You actually answered one of my questions because I was very curious to know how many players can participate in a Battle Royale, because I guess I came to a conclusion that I kind of thought it would be 100 players, but thank you so much for clarifying that. Will you have one Battle Royale mode, or will you have, like, for example, I don't know, squads or duos where they can be even more players, for example, or are you just keeping it like 20, like you said, if I understood you correctly?
So this is going to be an experience for us to experiment how much should be the maximum amount of players. We can enable up to 160, as I tell you. That's the server capacity that I have. I have just set it 20 now because that was what from our testing seemed to be a good number for a good match that also don't last for way too long, So that's why we did it. So what we're going to do is, as soon as we launch, we are going to be there with our developers. We have our own game testers, beta testers, that's going to be there gaming every day. And then we are going to adapt quickly and make it how people prefer it. So right now we have the open game, and then we're going to make a hourly tournament. So there's going to be a waiting time where everybody can meet at one certain time and go into the same match. This match I could probably make a little bit bigger. You're the first one who tells me that they would like more players in the game. So this will be an experiment with the max limit from our servers. We can go up to 160.
Yeah, because myself, I tend to get very competitive, and it's like in my eyes, the more players you can beat, So that's why I prefer to have more players in a battle royale type of match.
True. Yeah, so that will be an adoption thing. How we are gonna do that. From the beginning, we set it for 20. Yeah, and then out in the space with this game, it's all about the NFT itself. It's not like there's coins floating around in the space or any magic earning coming up that's gonna kill the token. No, it's real gaming and it's real utility. So your NFTs level up, that should give them more value to other players as they can have more rockets, as they have more abilities than the plain NFT. So we're going to come live with 3 spaceships, but we already have on the roadmap both a new map and a new game type. We're going to make team play. So that is on the roadmap for Q1 of next year. So that's just around the corner. And then with that's going to come new spaceships. And with these spaceships, there's going to come skins where we can further develop the whole earning feature in the game. Yeah. So that's a little bit about the game, and of course it's gonna require 1 NFT minimum. Doesn't matter if it's a low value or high value NFT. The cheapest NFTs is gonna be minted for less than $10 in the beginning. So we will keep it cheap for everybody to get into the game and be able to game. And these are traded with tokens to support the token, of course. Yeah. So that was a little bit about the game. Then we have the tokens. The token have a tax of 9% sell and buy. Long term, I aim for us to come up in very, very high market cap, and then we're gonna lower the taxes as we go. Now we have set it a tax that's gonna be our max tax, and from there on, we're gonna work on getting it down. It goes 1% to rewards, which going back to our in our main project, Rewarder. And then we have LP 1%, and then we have a vault and marketing 2 and 5%. So that gives a 9% tax, and it all goes to support the token, minus the 1% that goes to reward the holders. Yeah, and we also have our distribution. We have made a distribution that's gonna distribute over 10 years. So we have taken some over to make some initiatives to make competition, things like that. That's one part of it that's allocated for staking. That's also going to be released over 10 years. Staking is going to come in Q4. Then we have allocated some tokens for DEX and SEX listings, which means that we are going to bridge, we're going to go multi-chain. This is also going to happen in Q4, that I need some tokens for to list on Uniswap. And then we are also in Q4 going to list on our first central exchange, our first SEX. And that, of course, also requires some tokens. So all of this is why we have allocated some tokens for the allocation. Otherwise, there was a small private sale, but that private sale was hosted as the same price, exactly 1-to-1 as the pre-sale. There has been no benefits for them. And they were only able to ape half of the max that is in the pre-sale to make sure that they are not huge holders. There is no whales from the private sale. yeah. You have any questions? Help me a little bit now.
For sure, yeah. I was just kind of waiting to not interrupt you once again. So yeah, thank you so much for the presentation, for the introduction. And before I do move on to my questions, just to give a little bit of a reminder for the community that Jake has been dropping some useful links in the main chat. So you also have a teaser. If you did not yet check it out, please make sure to do so because it looks absolutely amazing. The gameplay is amazing, and the graphics, of course, I already mentioned, are top notch. So please do make sure to look at it, watch it, give any, I guess, constructive criticism if there is any. So yeah, now I guess if you're ready, I'm gonna ask you some of my questions because I am very much curious to know more about the gameplay itself, of course. So as far as the minimum requirements regarding the game go, you did quickly kind of brush upon the fact that you will, of course, need a NFT, which is in this case a spaceship, so you can, of course, enter the Battle Royale and be able to play it. But is there also a minimum requirement for you to be able to hold a specific amount of your tokens as well, or will just the NFT do for you to get started?
Just the NFT to get started. Players will automatically be holding the token as they will be trading first with NFTs and later with skins. So we don't force anybody to hold the token. They can do if they want.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. So, since we are also on the topic of the spaceships, it is of course, after all, one of the crucial factors to the game, considering that you do participate in the battle royale with them. So, what will the minting process for them be? Will you be able to buy them in game, or will you be able to buy them on your very own marketplace? And what will the price of them be if you've decided on that already?
So we haven't set a fixed price, and as we set our price in tokens, we will have to keep lower the price as we are going up in market cap. So the initial minting price will be something like $3-4. Then the price will go up, and then I will reschedule it. So the cheapest NFT is always around or less than $10. That's gonna be so everybody can come in, and then for the further NFTs, they're gonna have a higher minting price, and will have more abilities as well.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, I like the fact that you're keeping like options open, that you get I guess a bigger fan base for playing the game, that it's not just tied to, I don't know, a ridiculous price, meaning that a NFT would cost like for, I don't know, $200 or $300 for you to get started. So it's, a cheap price, so everyone feels included at the end of the day, and everyone can, check out and play the game. So I personally very, very much like the concept and idea behind that. So yeah, regarding the NFTs themselves, of course, there are many of them. It's not just one. And I'm curious to know more about that in the sense of if they are all balanced, I guess. So for example, if one is just faster and another one, I don't know, weighs a bit more, for example, or are there also NFTs that are overall a bit more powerful and are at the end of the day more expensive as the, I guess, average or starting ones?
So as I said, we're gonna have three spaceships to begin with. There's gonna be the small one, that's gonna be the Scout, that's gonna be the cheap one to begin with, and then there's gonna be two bigger ships. The two bigger ships will have a lower maximum, but all three ships can level up in speed throughout their lifetime, and they can also level up the ability to carry more rockets that you can fire at one time without reloading. So that will be the two main features that the NFTs will have for the starter. And then we have the whole setup with new NFTs and skins coming in January. So this is a smaller version of NFT logic, but it's enough for it to be fun and for us to start to create the mass adoption, which is the most important for the game.
All right, that's perfect. So you also have, I am so intrigued by the fact that you have so many, I guess, in-game utilities that it's not just, an NFT spaceships, that you also have different additional features like weapons, because you already touched upon that as well. So you have offensive, defensive, and potion-based weapons, if I did kind of read that correctly. And I'm very much curious to know more about the potion part of this. So will potions drop like in the middle of a battle royale or after a battle royale, or is this something that you have to also buy yourself, or can it be dropped?
You have to kill other people. You have
Oh,
to
okay. So
you have
basically,
to
okay,
you
yeah.
have to you have to take down these other ships, and there's double points for whoever gets the A.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, I like the concept behind that. So yeah, the other thing that I also was kind of wondering is for the maximum, I guess, amount of matches, considering that you also do, earn tokens and you can get some drops and everything. Do you have a cap, I guess, per day for the maximum amount of matches that you can participate in, or are you free to grind how much you like?
As I said, we don't do drops of tokens inside of the game. We don't hurt the token economy with the game. So for this reason, we also don't limit the game, because the game is about adoption. Just like a game like Counter-Strike, you see their skins goes for millions. Why do they go for millions? Because the game is popular. This is a game that we make from our game studio. It's a branding project. The development costs are 5, 6, 7 times bigger than the total funding, private and pre-sale together. This is not about the money. This is about branding for us. And of course, when we reach our goal and get our mass adoption, then the economy will follow in this project. But that's our goal for this, and there's not going to be a limit. That's going to be for mass adoption, and that's also why we made it available when we came live. It wasn't available with Android. I'll not say that we never worked on it, but it was asked by the community, by the first beta testers that we had from the private cell, and we adopted. It took us some weeks, and we came out with an Android version, and our beta testers have tested it. Already, I don't know if you guys managed to test it. I shared the files with you guys as well for the Android game, and that is exactly because we want as many gaming hours as possible.
Now that is perfect. I'm a huge fan of that because at the end of the day, when it will drop, I know the beta is out already, but when it will, everything will drop. I will imagine that if I do have the time, that I will grind a lot. So it's, great that you keep the gamer audience, I'm going to say, happy, and they can grind as much as they like. So regarding this topic as well, I also have a question about the ranking system. So again, I did mention myself that I'm very competitive when it comes to, gaming and battle royales and, multiplayer games in general, I'm going to say. So I'm curious to know if you guys are also planning on releasing some sort of, I don't know, ranking system or just ranked mode games for you to be able to, I don't know, rank and jump up the divisions or ranks, however you might call it, because that would be so perfect for myself, because I tend to get, again, competitive and just grind and grind to get the highest rank possible.
So what we're working on together with our beta testers is a gameplay, a special team play, and there is gonna be ranking system and everything, and that of course will then be implemented to the battle royale as well. So when we come live with our second map, our second game type gameplay, that will be released in Q1 next year. Then all of this is going to come together with skins. There's going to come rank skins and everything. For now, it's not included, so each ship have their own, but there is a level system instead of a rank system. So that's what we have for now. You level up by killing other people, and that gives you more abilities. And this level you can also buy with tokens, but of course it's not the same.
All right, that's perfect. Yeah, thank you very much for clarifying that and giving an answer to the question. And yeah, the only thing that I believe we didn't touch upon regarding the gameplay itself is the repairing of the ships. If I did, read it correctly, you have to repair your ship after each battle royale. But is this like always the same, or does it differ by the amount of damage you take by other players? Because I would assume that it does, but I will still just ask just in case.
The repair only goes on while doing a match. So no, the repair is not gonna be in the version 2. You will be repaired when you finish a battle royale and come out of it again. The repairing will also come in the January update for the game,
No.
January,
All right.
February.
All right, that's perfect. Thank you very much. And just the last question from my end before we do open up the floor to the community's questions. So again, if you guys, the community, also have any questions, make sure to raise your hand. Of course, you are raising your hands now. Perfect. So if you do have any questions, just make sure to do so. We will try to get everyone unmuted. And yeah, the last question, Lars, I will very much enjoy the answer to this one. And considering that you guys have, been working a lot on the gameplay itself, a lot on the project, and of course had to provide a lot of funding for everything to work to be flawless. I'm curious to know, what do you think personally was your biggest obstacle you faced while developing the game, and how did you manage to overcome it?
Our biggest problem with the game was how should it turn out. We have been developing this game for a long time. We have had some different maps to figure out where should we have our focus. At the first, we were gonna release the game with a lower graphic, and I think the biggest problem we have is that I'm never satisfied. So I just keep the developers ongoing. This project has been going on since Q4 of last year, and we had the first beta testers in I think it was in April. We started beta testing this, and I simply just haven't been able to feel satisfied enough to actually deliver it out. And that has, of course, taken a lot of drain and a lot of time off to finish this off and get a final product that we really can be proud of. But I think we show this with our product that we are developing, that we have really went into detail and used a lot of time on everything. It's not a AAA game, so anybody trying the game and expecting a AAA game, no, it's not. Hopefully we will get there with time, but it's a very nice beta game, and the whole getting the whole thing working together. The biggest issue with game development is to get it to work with blockchain. That's definitely the biggest hurdle to come over to get them connected with stable APIs and everything is very difficult.
All right. So yeah, I would imagine that at the end of the day, it's like I guess a double-edged sword, you could say, to be a perfectionist like you, because at the end of the day, okay, you're not completely satisfied with the end result, and then you kind of take your time, but at the end of the day, it's for sure 100% better to take as much time as you need to deliver a product that you're personally satisfied with, and not just push it out as soon as possible. And you have tons of glitches, everything doesn't work properly, because I have experienced that with many games. So I am very much happy that you guys decided to take your time and want to perfect it as much as possible. So kudos to you guys for that.
Thanks a lot, and looking forward to soon playing with you.
Ah, amazing. So do I. That's perfect. All right. So thank you very much, Lars, for giving the answers to all of my questions. Thank you for the lovely presentation. And before we do open up the floor to the community's questions, just a kind reminder that the pre-sale for Fight for Hope is taking place tomorrow at 6 p.m. UTC. So if you're enjoying the AMA, I will say not if you enjoyed because it's still ongoing. So if you do enjoy this AMA, make sure to check out the pre-sale link. It's also pinned on the AMA post. We will also drop a separate, reminder for the pre-sale, just so you guys can set your alarm clocks. You'll be ready for the sale and everything. So yeah, with that being said, I won't take too much of your time because we have a lot of questions ready. And so yeah, let's get the party started, I guess. So the first one is Black Hole. Hello, welcome. I guess it's a perfect name for the game. So Black Hole, welcome, and you may ask your question now.
Hello?
Hello, Black Hole. We can hear you. You are audible.
Hello, are you guys hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Welcome.
All right. My question is about the GameFi. In regards to the GameFi, would you guys be implementing a multiplayer features where one can connect and play as team regardless of the location in the world? And what would one need to access the game?
The game is a multiplayer game, so you can access from anywhere in the world, from mobile or Windows. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and also your tokenomics. I saw in the website that you guys have 9% for buy and sell, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, would there be any possibility you guys will increase it in the future? Because most projects I've been into, they will be like giving their investors 9% sell and 9% buy, and later manipulating the tax features. So I wanted to know if you guys is there any possibility it can be increased later in the future or not?
I will not lie to you. My coach, I can do it. I would never do it. I've been doxxed for more than a year. Yeah, I've been doxxed for years. I have another project, so I would never do that. But yes, the code allows me to do it. But as I stated in the beginning, our goal is to go for higher market cap and lower the tax as we move up in market cap. But indeed, the code, which all codes does, allows them to be editable, which means that I can edit up and down. But I would never edit up. I promise this is our max tax.
All right, cool. Am I allowed to ask any more question, Rain?
Yeah,
Rainland?
for sure, Black Hole. Feel free to do so. It's no problem at all.
All right. Thanks, man. I really appreciate. So, about would you be implementing a multi-language interface? In order to for all these language barriers, most people aren't familiar with English. Is there any possibility you will be solving that problem for people who doesn't know how to understand English?
So in the game, it should be quite simple. We haven't translated to other languages, but we could probably do so. But there is few buttons in the game. It's quite straightforward and kill. So we have had Chinese players that don't speak English testing out the game. They haven't had any issue. But if it becomes an issue, I will definitely look into it because Asia is gonna be one of our biggest adoption points. Asia and South America is where we're gonna see our biggest adoption from. So indeed, we will make sure to do everything we need to do to ensure that they don't have language barriers.
Wow, cool. I've watched the trailer. Honestly, man, that's a good one. Good luck to your project. Thank you, Rainland, for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Join the community. Anybody who wants to try the game, join the community and you will get to try the game. So then you can try it out for yourself, see it. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, man.
All right, Black Hole, thank you very much for the questions. And we are moving on to CC Jitters. Hello, welcome to the AMA. You may ask your question now. Whoops, got a little bit tongue tied there.
All right, Raylan. Thank you very much for the wonderful opportunity here on GemPad. Super happy to be always here on GemPad AMA. So I wanted to touch on something that I felt it could be good, I would say. So have you thought about NFT ticketing? So, okay, so let me explain what it means. So this is my idea of what it's gonna what it means. So, and anybody who wants to get into the game, who wants to well play or earn NFTs or tokens, they will have to buy a ticket, and they have that ticket will be in the metaverse. So that means perhaps you may integrate in metaverse for your game. So if anybody who wants to get into the game needs to buy your ticket, and buying the ticket will be awesome because it's gonna have some passes where and some security features, some code, some ID that's gonna make also scammers not be able to come into your game and then perhaps your profile and then ruin your money or take your money away, stuff like that. And then it's kind of like a security feature. So that ticket to enable people to come into the game. So have you thought about making that?
Uh, a lobby system like a metaverse is something that we have thought about. I'm not sure that it would be good for this game as it would take longer time to enter, but it's a very, very complicated setup that you're speaking about, and it's a whole development in itself. But regarding to security, then our integration with MetaMask, we're working together with Anchor. For those who don't know who Anchor is one of the biggest API suppliers in Web3 space. They host Binance. For those who don't know, I think you know Binance at least. So they host their APIs as well, and they are our bridge into the game for this. And else the security is over your MetaMask, and there is no trading in game, as the game engine is easier to hack. There is no tradability or transfers in game. So all the transactions and tradings will go on another platform outside of the game, and that alone gives security enough that nobody gets stolen unless they give away access to their game or voluntarily send something. That I can assure.
Yeah, that's great. Cool. So the thing is about this NFT ticketing, it's kind of like having this ticket to or game pass to enter into a game. So, like for example, you're going to a concert, you have this VIP, pay for a VIP and whatever. So that kind of idea, having this game pass, and then, well, as you said, you have security from MetaMask and then Binance and stuff. That's great. But there are a couple of hackers around the world, right? And then these hackers are super bad, super awesome in hacking, and then a lot of them just really but they don't care whatever platform you're in. You're just coming to the platform, taking your money and whatever stuff they see, they take it. So I was kind of like having this thinking of perhaps if there's a unique ID in the Game Pass, each person is gonna have, and then this Game Pass it could be also bought from your NFT collections, right? From your NFT marketplace. So and it's kind of gonna be expensive more than the other NFTs based on it's a Game Pass, right? So something like that. I was thinking if that Game Pass would be available, have a unique ID for security, but you said you have security features, and then perhaps to get into the game, you just need that, yeah, just that pass, Game Pass, basically. So just an idea for me. Yeah, but anyway, as you said, you have great security features. That's pretty awesome.
So to answer regarding tickets, I see a little bit as a pay to earn, and also if we ask for people's identity, we go against the principles of Web3 and DeFi, which is that we can be anonymous. As for security, I can tell you I've been working with banks and government money for over 10 years. So regarding data security, I think we will be all right, and I will keep our NFTs safe. But I'm definitely up to hear more into the ticket system. But here on an AMA to go through a new idea is a little bit complicated. So hit me up in a DM. Then I would love to speak with you more about it. But here on a public AMA, I think it's getting too complicated to discuss future development that I haven't prepared.
Yeah, no problem. Cool. Well, the thing is, you just have a great project, try to market your project, and then try to let everybody know the major utilities you have here for them to invest. Future utilities could come later in the future. Like, they're future utilities. So later in the future, they could come. But as you said, I'm just going to shoot you a DM, and then we could talk more about that. But by the way, you have a great project.
Thanks a lot, my friend. I'm happy that you like it, and I hope to, most of all, game with you. I hope to see you guys inside of the game. That's my biggest wish. Anybody else who have any questions?
Yeah, we are moving on. Thank you, Sissy Juders, for the questions and recommendations, I should also say. So perfect. All right, and we are moving on to Lars. We're going to enjoy this. Lars Kempachi, he is a gamer himself. So, Kempachi, welcome. I imagine you're going to have a good question for Lars today. So, welcome. You may ask your question now.
Thank you, Rainbows. First of all, something that I find very odd in the trailer itself is that the measurement of speed used is in kilometer per hour. I think you might want to look into it, because when you're playing a space game, you don't do kilometers per hour, you do parsec or AU or something like that, right? I hope this is that is very minor thing you might not have noticed, but kilometer per hour in a space ship game is like really bad.
We know, and it will be changed before launch. Yeah, sorry for that one.
Coming to the question side, how do you like, after looking at the trailer and everything, how do you see this as? It is something related to Eve Odyssey or something related to Warframe? How do you want to build up upon this? Because you can't just keep moving in a spaceship all the whole time, right? There will be some hustle somewhere where you got to stop. So if you are defending your own galaxy, you might be building it at a point. So how does one do that? Like, can you give something into it?
So this is a battle royale game. It's out in the space, as you see, and you see the core of the map. You see most of it in the trailer, and that's where the match is going down. Of course, the map is not unlimited, but it's not an exploring map. It's battle royale. So people are supposed to go in and battle with each other. So if you go further and further out, of course, the map is also getting more and more boring, because that's not the part where we have focused the whole game on. If we are going to end up setting a shrimp function on or not, that I haven't decided yet. That again depends on a little further testing. I have tried it with and without, and I'm not 100% sure.
The map right now, or like, you have an estimate about the length, like if the length of the map for now?
I don't have the measurement. I know that you can fly for around 2 minutes out to either side before you hit the end, and when you hit the end, it just presses you back towards the middle. So that's how we have set it, the map now. But you can get out, you can see the other planets that you see in the map, you can go out, you can explore them if you want, but it is Battle Royale. You're supposed to find Jay and kill him.
Yeah, Battle Royale is something I don't really much do that anymore, so yeah, but still good. So one last question, how do you see this. I think CC Jitters asked something about around that. So I'll say when a person, what is the ranking system with this? How the leaderboard happens once the things are out in general? Like, will it be once in a match, or it will be a weekly board? How is the reward system working alongside this? Like,
So,
it is something
so,
like
so,
PUBG, like win a chicken dinner or something different.
so, so to get rewarded, you have to. There will be tournaments, there will be special arrangements, but in the main play, then your NFT level up, which will give it a higher stat, which should make it worth more than a freshly minted NFT that takes long time to level up. So that's what you get in the version 1 of the NFT logic. Then you also get capacity for more rockets, things like that. So it's more availability in the ship itself. That's the main earning feature. So players can level up an NFT and then they can sell them for higher price. Let's say they buy them for $10. They play for some time and then they sell it for $100. Worth in tokens, of course. So that's how the whole earning feature is. And then we're going to add skins and all of this in, and we're also going to add a team play in and a new map in Q1, as I said. But for now, in version 1, these are the earning feature, the main earning feature. Then we have allocated some tokens to do arrangements and drops and other things, but that's not things that's going to be planned out. That's not scheduled drops or anything like that. It's not like just by connecting with the game you're gonna get a lot of tokens and drain our token economy. That would be very bad for the token, very bad for the investors. So that would not support anything.
Those very applicable answers. I like what you're doing. I assume you play a lot of your games yourself, that you have detailed answers to all this. One thing I would suggest that since it is a galaxy, right? So a person might want to be interested in something build up sort of thing, something along the lines of block build up. If a winner at a point can get a reward, even if there is a limit set to how many rounds he can play in a day, after playing X number of rounds, even if he still wants to play and go ahead with it, he might, if he wins the round, he might want to receive something, and that could be a part of, let's say, a storehouse or something, where he can start building his own store in, like, not a store, like say a house in the galaxy, a planet maybe, something along the lines of SimCity that a person is building in space. That will be an added factor. That's something to look in the future. That will be very interesting because it will give a second factor to the game, so the people keep on playing. Something that I got from Warframe, that if a person keeps playing, you keep giving things to a person, he will still keep playing. So add build up on that. You might want to see into this in the future. Thank you for answering all that. Thank you, Rinlitz.
Thanks a lot for your questions. And yes, we'll definitely be up. As I said already, we are thinking about a metaverse. I will not say that we are not working on one as well, but it's not something we have put it on the roadmap. But it's definitely an interesting idea that you have to add in there, and it's something that I will look more into. And for those who took note in the kilometer per hour, that is gonna be changed. That is just a standard feature that we haven't got edited, and these footages have now got released. So yeah, but now I got caught in it. So thank you for that one.
All right, last competitor, thank you very much for the questions. And we are moving on to David Johnson. Hello, David. Welcome to the AMA.
Hey man, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You may ask your question now.
Okay, my question is, will be there kind of rental implementation system where players can hire my NFTs and I earn passively from it? If yes, then what will I be one of the determinant to the price, or it will be rent out already fixed?
So to answer your question, it's not something that we have on the roadmap. But I'm looking into connecting both other games. I have my other project where we are looking into connecting games from Web 2 world directly into NFT trade as well. And we have also been looking into character renting system. But it's not hit the roadmap yet, and that's because I don't like to put things on the roadmap that I don't have on my computer. I can play around with myself. So when we come a little bit further in this, then we will definitely look into a renting system. You are very welcome to hit me up in DM and come with suggestions if you have any suggestions how a rental system should work. But it's definitely something that we have, and I already have the smart contracts, how we can rent NFTs and make sure that the owner gets it back. So that part we have made possible. Now we just need a reward sharing between the owner and the renter, or a renting price, or how the whole feature will have to work out. But again, it's not going to come on the roadmap for the next 3 months.
Okay, all right. I have another question. It's also related to NFT. Suppose the increase in piracy in digital artwork content. So, what strategy or what mechanism will you implement to ensure the full protection of those artwork from the possible initiations and pirated?
Sorry, I didn't replicate and stolen NFTs. Is that the question?
Yes, exactly.
So I will make it very clear. If somebody gets stolen their NFTs, then they will have to get into your MetaMask. There is no connection, bridge, or anything. That is an unsecure leech between this. There is no bridges. For example, in our token, we have a bridge to Ethereum. There we connect to a Web2 database, but the NFTs in no moment connects to a security breach throughout this game. All of it is readings that we get, information that we get from the game engine, and log it in the NFT. So the NFT is gonna be safe, just as safe as your MetaMask wallet. So unless you get hacked on your MetaMask wallet, there's no security concerns at all regarding the game or the game logic.
Okay, one last question from my side. Will you have an auction place where individual can buy or sell their rockets or something like that, or rocket parts? Then project will get taxes from those transactions.
So for the NFTs, there will come a third-party marketplace that's gonna be the place where we can trade our NFTs. Then individual gamers can go in there and upload the NFTs for whatever price they want. The marketplace have both functionality for auction or fixed price, however you prefer it, and then you can trade with your NFTs there on the marketplace. So that will be very simple, and again, it will be a secure marketplace. NFT trades goes on smart contracts, so there is no security breach there.
Okay, all right. Thank you for your answer.
No problem, my friend. I hope to see you in the game as well.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see everyone who's asking questions in the game as well. So that would be perfect. To have a battle royale with only the community and, of course, your community as well. That would be perfect. So, yeah, David Johnson, thank you very much for the questions. And we are, of course, moving on to Sujay. Sujay, welcome to the AMA. You may ask your question now.
Hello, Rainlands. Hello, Lars.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Hello, nice to meet you.
All right, so same here. Nice listening to your presentation. Great presentation so far. So
Did I lose
Uh,
internet? Did he?
I was
I'm sorry.
thinking connection. Yeah, Sujo, no problem at all. You cut off for a second there.
Yeah. So I was saying I like the fact that you're using Unreal Engine 5, but with that comes all the new features of Unreal Engine 5, like Lumen and Nanite, and how it handles the lighting dynamically and the polygon count and all of that. So that makes it a lot more resource intensive than its previous iterations. Do you sort of specify a minimum hardware requirement in terms of CPU and GPU for your game to be played at the highest level, or at an acceptable performance?
Jay have posted in the chat the recommended requirements for the PC, but I will say that
perfect.
this actually is it's not that big, but the better computer you have, the less lag. But it's mostly up to the internet connection here, because you stream the map. So, for example, let's say that your internet connection is lower. When you get close to an item, it will disappear. This is not bad development from our side. This is your internet connection. Yeah, but indeed, you are 100% correct that from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5, there was a huge update, and which was also one of the things that have delayed our project, because I wanted Unreal 5. I had this game released in Unreal 5 48 hours after they made the update back in May. Yeah, but it indeed is a very complex game. We have it down to 0.6 gigabyte for the PC version and 0.4, I think, for the Android version. We are down to gigabytes. So definitely a data required game.
Right. Yeah, no, wonderful. And thank you so much, Jay, for the quick answer, posting that in the chat. My second question is, you mentioned the whole goal, or at least initially the goal of this game for you is to get adoption, to build a user or a gamer base and sort of put the studio out there. So once you say you reach a sizable amount of user base, is the idea for this token to keep building on this same game by adding more levels and maps, or do you want to add games from different genres to this ecosystem, but at the same time being part of the same token?
So for the future of Fight4Hope, it has its own roadmap. As for my game development, I have a big company and a studio, and also now we have more external developers. So we are working on other projects that's not gonna get connected to this. We work for clients, and we have our big ecosystem is a blockchain, a green blockchain working on green energy. So that's our company goals. But for Fight4Hope, it has its own roadmap, which means that all of these features that's coming up is gonna be to support this project. This is gonna be our game. I'm not saying that they're not gonna come more, but we don't have any desire to launch a mass of games. And if we do, they will all be connected back to one system, because we don't want to run 20 tokens or anything like that. For example, right now I have 5 beta games on my phone alone, but I don't want to launch 5 tokens, no matter how long time there should be in between them. So it would definitely, if we are to launch more, it is to support the same ecosystem.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much for those answers. Love the trailer and love the fact that you're using UEFI again. So all the best. Thanks, Vinland.
All right, Suji, thank you very much for the lovely question. And we are moving on to Saad Hitman. Welcome once again to the AMA. Of course, the floor is all yours, and you may ask your question now.
Right. Thank you both, and good afternoon, both?
Yeah, it's good afternoon here.
How you doing, brother?
Absolutely amazing. And yourself?
I'm alright. Lars, I respect you too. How you doing, bro?
Thanks a lot. I'm doing great. I'm sitting here in Spain, so we still have a little hot here in the afternoon, but I'm doing amazing today.
Awesome. I mean, that's all for the hope, isn't it? To be better every blessed day, in spite of the challenges.
Exactly. It's fight for hope every day, my friend.
All right. Let me kick into my question. First and foremost, I really want to recommend you for the awesome idea. I really love the branding, and I think when this AMA got posted on Twitter yesterday, that's the first thing that caught my attention. Fight for Hope. I love it, and I really love the trailer too. It's really inspirational.
Thanks a lot for the compliment.
Problems, bro. Good work. And now, I really have 3 questions to ask. The first one is about the contract. Second one is about the game itself, and the third one is about the funding. So let's start with the game. Fighting for Hope. I really want to know when my hope becomes hopeless in playing this particular game. So, as a team, you said it will be between 2 to 20, if I got you correct during the presentation, right?
No, that's the battle royale. In the battle royale, there is 2 to 20 players that can enter one map.
Exactly. And we all are fighting for the same cause.
Hope is this spaceship that made it away but are destroyed. So that's the whole story behind it. So now we are out there and we need to defend Hope. So every single spaceship, every single player is a defender of Hope to keep it safe, so we can repair it and get to another planet.
Yep, that's exactly where I was driving at. So when do our hope become hopeless? Like, how many players will be when it is led from the amount of persons that are actually into the defending phase of things, it becomes game over as a team work. You get my point?
No, I don't actually understand or get your point here.
Let's say we started by 8 persons, say 8 persons, all of us are now defending Hope, and 3 persons get eliminated. Are we still hopeful of winning the fight, or it's game over?
No, it's battle royale. So when you die, you die. So it's last man standing. So the winner and the one who gains more energy and level up and this throughout the game is the last player.
All right. Really, I'm not really that fan of playing games, and especially this battle royale. I think I've been the kind of soccer player, so all these stuff I'm trying to adapt into it because now I'm doing it to get rewards to start with. So secondly is about the contract itself. So are you the ones that develop this particular, both the game contract and your token contract?
No. So I have around 40 developers hired in my company, but it's my developers who have developed this smart contract, and it's my game developers who have deployed together with the blockchain developers the NFT contract.
Okay, so you guys have really tested all these stuff out and it worked out fine.
Exactly. We have tested out both the game, but as I say, the game is only a connection. So you only verify and it checks that this wallet that connects and approves to go into the game actually have an NFT. So that part is easy and there is no breaches. Regarding the contract, we have just audited. I just need to look the report. We got it just before the AMA, so I just need to look through the audit and then it will be published. But it is already audited. It's a very similar contract to the one that I have had running for long over a year in my other project. We have only added a few features and a bridge to it, so the contract is also very secure. And as I said, we have just completed an audit. They say that the biggest risk is that I can disable transfers, so that you're gonna see in the audit. That's about it.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Because the reason why I asked is because I mean we've seen several neat games. I mean they are very neat during the presentation. As a matter of fact, Renland actually hosted one. I don't really want to call him, but I believe he knows the one I'm talking about. And they said if they said everything is functioning fine. Immediately the launch, we're gonna be playing the games at 24 hours, and at the end of the day, we couldn't play it because the contract was faulty. That's why I'm asking you if you are the person that built your contract. But since it is your in-house developers, I think we are safe here.
We are very safe, and I don't know if Rain Lads managed to test the game when I shared it yesterday. Most of all of this material come from beta testers. You're welcome to hit up Jay in DM and get in and play the game yourself and test it out. I would be very happy if you do so. But the game works already now. The only thing now in the beta game, we have only enabled one ship because we don't have the whole NFT logic gets connected to the right token, you know. And as for the game and no, as for the contract and security, everything, if you click on my profile, you'll get into my other project. You can see my YouTube. You can see we have partners. I'm developing for millions of checks for different people around the world. So these are not issues. I find mistake on Certec and these audit companies. So we are data experts, and my company stands of blockchain architectures, not developers. We also have developers, but the managers and the leaders of the development, they are architects. They make things that doesn't exist yet. So we are very, very much into security of everything. And we also have this contract live, exactly this contract we have live on another name on our own DEX that nobody trade on to make sure that it worked. So it is already live there with a live version, just another name where we trade ourselves to make sure that there has been no bug or anything. So any possible tests that could be done have been done.
Awesome. All right, thank you very much. And lastly, Renland, can I please ask the last one, or
yeah, for sure. Go on ahead. It's no problem at all.
All right, thank you, boss. So, Lars, as I was asking the last question, now boils down to the developments as you are doing a lot of works and the marketing will be taking places, and all these things are funds, and I believe you have enough already, and you're gonna be raising some through through your pre-sales as well, and all of them are going to be into a particular wallet for marketing and development. So I really want to know how many you are in your team to start with. First, you tell us how many you are in your team, and you tell us how many persons are really going to be signing off these disbursements of the funds should you want to use it to make sure that these funds are in safe hands. If you wouldn't mind, you can actually add how much you trust each other for us so we can actually be sure that the dreams is really going to be accomplished.
I'm not gonna go into how much money I've put it in this project. As I said, 6-7 times the total funding. The total funding was 225. If we do when we fill tomorrow, then we have funded totally 225,000. Between 5 to 7 times that is our current development costs. These are already paid. This is my private funds, and I don't need to explain where I got them from. And furthermore, we already have secured, as we know that the world are having economic crisis. Then from my company side, we have secured for the next 2 years of survival that we have locked in assets to make sure to pay our employees. As for Fight4Hope, it stands of 12 people. 5 of them are more attached to the project, and then 7 people part-times. So that is Fight4Hope. In total, I'm not sure how many we are. My company runs with a lot of sparring throughout other agencies and things, but at least 30 people. We are full-time on labs all the time.
All right. So if I get you correct, you said about 2 persons, right, is really in charge of the funding, because that is where my major concern is.
No, only me. Only me is in charge of the funding. I have paid this myself. So only me is in charge of the funding. Of course, I have a team. I have lawyers. I have economists. So of course, I have advisors. But who decides what to do with these funds is gonna be only me.
All right, awesome. So the money that you yourself you put into it, like at what stance will you be feeling like, okay, fine, it is time for me to actually start paying myself and kind of sparing some funds for the expenses I've made already, and without hurting the project itself?
If you look at my other projects, then this one I have just put it a little bit in. My other project I've put it a lot more in. So I'm not in here to take money out of the project. There's no tokens allocated towards me. I'm not expecting to need to use the development tokens or anything like that. We are here to make a branding project. I'm of course gonna make money throughout the taxes and the economy in the token. These money are gonna be reinvested into further development, marketing, and exposure. As I told you, the most important for me is adoption, so we will focus mostly on that in the beginning, and then of course as we get big, things might change. But we have a fund set aside to support the game. So from the company side, this is a pure charity project. We are not here to withdraw money. And for this year, I can guarantee you that from this year, there's nobody that's getting paid from the token economy in this project. So the 5 people who are full-time on this, the 7 people who are part-time, and the others who are connected throughout Game Studio and so on. All of their payments will be handled from my development fund in my company and not from the economy in this project. That will go purely into more exposure, marketing, listings, all of these things we need to do to make sure that this can hit my goal. And my goal is page 1 of CMC, nothing less. So, yeah, until we are there, there's not going to be thought about anything.
All right, brother. Thank you very much, and thank you, Renland. And thank you, first and foremost, for the detailed explanations. I love it. At least my hope is alive. Thanks, Renland, for the opportunity, brother.
Hope to see you in the game, my friend. Thanks for your questions.
All right. All right, Satkid, man, thank you very much for the lovely questions. And with that, the AMA will come to an end. So, Lars, just wanted to thank you for your time and answering all of the questions to the greatest of detail that you possibly could. So you can enjoy a little bit of the sun in Spain if you have any left. And also thank you, Jay, for keeping up the chat alive and typing everything each and every second and giving all concrete information as well. So very much excited for the pre-sale tomorrow, and I hope the both of you have an amazing day.
Same to all of you guys. Thanks of you for joining and having me here, and looking forward to see you on GemPad tomorrow afternoon. I will be having an AMA in our own community, so join my main group.
All right, you've heard it firsthand. So yeah, join the main group of Fight4Hope, and we shall see you all on the pre-sale tomorrow. So thank you very much, Lars. Thank you very much, Jay, as well, and enjoy your day.
Bye.